Have you ever felt like you were running a race where the finish line kept moving further and further away? You give your all, you push, you strive, you sweat, but every step forward feels like a pull 2 steps back. Life, at times, can feel like that relentless marathon. And if you've ever paused, frustrated, and wondered, why does it have to be this hard? Am I even on the right path? You're not alone. Let me take you back to a moment that changed my perspective forever. I once heard the story of a young boy who was determined to become a champion swimmer. Every morning before sunrise, he would dive into the freezing water and swim lap after lap, alone. His friends teased him, his family questioned his dedication, and even his coach doubted his ability. But he stayed the course. One day, after years of unseen effort, he stood on the Olympic podium, gold medal around his neck, tears streaming down his face. When asked how he did it, he simply said, "I stayed in the water, even when I wanted to get out." That boy's journey is a reminder to all of us. Staying on track means committing to the process. Even when the path is hard, the results are invisible, and doubt creeps in. So what does it mean to stay on track? Is it about being perfect, having every answer, or avoiding mistakes? No, it's about perseverance. It's about waking up every day and choosing to keep moving forward, even when life gives you every reason to quit. It's about aligning yourself with your purpose and realigning when the road gets rough. Staying on track is not about the absence of obstacles. It's about the presence of resilience. It's understanding that your journey will have detours, delays, and distractions. But those moments don't define you. Your ability to keep moving does. Let's be honest, life will test you. It will throw storms, setbacks, and situations that make you question your worth. But hear me clearly. The race is not to the swiftest, nor the strongest, but to the one who endures. Staying on track is a mindset, a discipline, and a declaration. It's looking at the chaos around you and saying, "I will not be moved." Maybe right now, you're feeling stuck. You've been knocked down by life, and it's hard to see a way forward. Maybe it's the weight of a failed relationship that keeps you up at night. Or perhaps it's the disappointment of a financial setback that you didn't see coming. Maybe you had big dreams for your future, but somewhere along the way, life happened, and those dreams got smaller and smaller. But I want to tell you something. Your detour is not your destiny. Think about that for a moment. The pain, the delay, the hardship. It doesn't define you unless you let it. Every successful person, every victorious story, every triumphant individual has faced moments of failure and frustration. But what sets them apart is that they didn't give up. They stayed on track. You see, staying on track doesn't mean you won't have moments of doubt. It doesn't mean you won't stumble or even fall. What it means is that every time you fall, you get back up. It means understanding that progress is still progress, even if it's slower than you hoped. Let me ask you this. What is pulling you off track today? Is it the voice of others telling you you're not good enough? Is it the fear of failing again? Or is it simply exhaustion, the feeling that you've been fighting for so long with so little to show for it? Whatever it is, know this, you're not alone. Every champion, every overcomer, every person who's achieved greatness has felt what you're feeling right now. And the good news is, just like them, you can rise above it. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down what it really takes to stay on track in life, not just in theory, but in practice. We'll talk about the challenges you'll face, the mindset you need, and the strategies that will keep you moving forward. Whether you're climbing a mountain of ambition, fighting through a valley of despair, or just trying to figure out your next step, this message is for you. So, as we start this journey together, I want you to make a commitment to yourself, to your dreams, and to your purpose. Commit to staying on track, no matter how hard it gets. Because your future, your victory, your breakthrough, it's closer than you think. Let's dive in. The foundation of staying on track. What does it mean to stay on track? It's not just a catchy phrase or motivational mantra. It's a way of life. Staying on track is about maintaining discipline, focus, and vision, even when distractions, detours, and disappointments come your way. It's the ability to keep moving toward your purpose, one step at a time, no matter how steep the climb or how rough the terrain. Imagine your life as a train on a track. Every train is designed for one purpose: movement. Its power is not in staying still, but in progressing toward its destination. But here's the key. The train can only move forward as long as it stays on the tracks. If it derails, its strength, momentum, and potential mean nothing. Staying on track means aligning yourself with the rails of discipline, focus, and vision. Those things that keep you moving in the right direction. Discipline is the engine that drives you forward. Focus is the conductor, steering you toward your goals. And vision is the map that keeps you clear on where you're going. Lose any one of these, and your train may stall, wander, or crash. But keep them in place, and there's no limit to how far you can go. The importance of discipline, focus, and vision. Discipline, the engine of progress. Discipline is the foundation of staying on track. It's the daily commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is showing up, whether it's in your relationships, your work, your health, or your spiritual life. Think about a train again. The engine doesn't decide whether it feels like moving today. It moves because that's what it was designed to do. Similarly, discipline isn't about feelings. It's about purpose. You may not always feel motivated, but discipline will keep you moving when motivation fades. Focus, the conductor that guides. Focus is what keeps you from wandering off the track. In a world full of distractions, social media, endless opinions, fear of failure, focus is your ability to tune out the noise and keep your eyes on the goal. The train conductor isn't distracted by every bump in the road or every noise outside. Their job is to steer the train to its destination. Your job is to do the same with your life. Proverbs 4:25 says, "Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you." That's focus, refusing to be sidetracked by what doesn't serve your purpose. Vision, the map to your destination. Vision is the clarity of knowing where you're going and why. It's the why behind every step you take. Without vision, you can have all the discipline and focus in the world, but still find yourself heading in the wrong direction. Vision gives your journey meaning and direction. Habakkuk 2.2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it may run." When you have a clear vision, you can run toward it with confidence, even when the journey gets tough. Incorporate wisdom. Here's a truth you need to hear. God didn't create you to stay stuck at the station. You were built to move, built to progress, built to reach destinations you haven't even imagined yet. Staying on track is not just about personal achievement. It's about fulfilling the purpose you were created for. Think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. He had a vision, a dream of greatness, But before he reached that greatness, he faced betrayal, slavery, false accusations, and years of imprisonment. By every worldly measure, he was off track. But in God's plan, he was right where he needed to be. Every detour was a part of his journey toward the palace. You might feel like Joseph right now, like life has thrown you into a pit. But remember this: the pit is not the end of the story. The same God who allowed the pit will also prepare the palace if you stay on track. Let me say it again for someone who needs to hear it. Your detour is not your destiny. Examples of staying on track, leading to success, biblical figures. David. Before David became king, he was a shepherd boy overlooked by his own family. He spent years fleeing from Saul, living in caves and facing opposition. But David stayed on track. He held on to God's promise, and eventually, he was crowned king. His story reminds us that staying on track requires patience and faith. Historical leaders. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years for his fight against apartheid. Mandela could have given up, lost hope, or become bitter. But he stayed on track, holding on to his vision of a free and equal South Africa. His perseverance led to his release, and he became a symbol of peace and justice for the world. Modern achievers. J.K. Rowling. Before she became a household name, Rowling was a single mother struggling to make ends meet. She was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was finally accepted. What if she had given up after the first rejection? Or the 5th? Or the 10th? Staying on track, even in the face of rejection, led to her extraordinary success. Metaphor. Life as a train on a track. Let's come back to that train. Sometimes you'll encounter hills so steep that your engine feels like it's going to give out. Other times, you'll hit storms so fierce you can't see the track ahead. And yes, there will be moments when you're tempted to stop, to turn back, or to jump off altogether. But hear me. Stay on track. When the journey gets hard, don't let the temporary discomfort rob you of the ultimate destination. Trains were built to withstand storms, to climb mountains, to push through resistance, and so were you. Staying on track is about faith, perseverance, and trusting that the journey is worth it. It's about understanding that every detour, every delay, and every difficulty is part of your story, not the end of it. So, let me ask you again. What's pulling you off track today? Is it fear, doubt, or discouragement? Whatever it is, recognize it, name it, and then decide that it will not have the final say. You have the power to realign, refocus, and recommit. Stay on track because the destination is closer than you think. Challenges to staying on track. Let's face it, staying on track isn't easy. Life is full of obstacles, roadblocks, and unexpected detours. And if we're being honest, sometimes it feels like the moment you decide to stay focused, the world conspires to pull you off track. But here's what you need to remember. Challenges are not meant to break you. They're meant to build you. Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Staying on track isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about learning how to navigate through them. Let's explore some of the most common roadblocks that derail people and how you can overcome them. 1. Distractions. The silent derailer. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, endless notifications, the latest Netflix series. These things are designed to steal your focus. They might seem harmless at first, but over time, they can pull you miles off course. Think about this. A train doesn't stop for every bird that flies across its path. It doesn't pause for every gust of wind. It keeps moving because it knows where it's going. But if you allow every little distraction to take your attention, you'll never reach your destination. Ask yourself, what's distracting you right now? Is it scrolling through your phone for hours? Is it saying yes to every invitation, even when it doesn't align with your goals? The key to overcoming distractions is to set boundaries, turn off notifications, create dedicated time for deep work, and most importantly, remind yourself daily of why you're staying on track. 2. Discouragement. The weight that slows you down. Let's be real. There will be days when you feel like giving up. Maybe you've been working hard, but you're not seeing the results you expected. Maybe you've faced rejection, failure, or criticism. Discouragement can feel like a heavy weight dragging you down, making every step forward harder than the last. But hear this. Discouragement is temporary. It's not a destination. It's a passing storm. The enemy of your focus is your fear of failure. Don't let temporary setbacks convince you that your purpose isn't worth pursuing. Remember this. Every successful person you admire has faced discouragement. They've been knocked down, criticized, and doubted. But they chose to keep going, and so can you. 3. Fear. The paralyzer. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that can derail you. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of the unknown. It can paralyze you and keep you stuck in the same place. But let me tell you something about fear. It's a liar. Fear will tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, that you're going to fail. But fear is not a fact. It's a feeling. And feelings are temporary. The Bible says in 2 Timothy 1:7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Fear doesn't come from God. It comes from doubt, insecurity, and the enemy trying to keep you from your purpose. When fear tries to derail you, remind yourself of this truth. You are capable. You are equipped, and you were created for a purpose. 4. Self-doubt. The internal saboteur. Sometimes, the biggest challenge isn't the world around you. It's the voice inside your head. Self-doubt whispers lies like, "Who do you think you are to pursue this dream? You're not smart enough, talented enough, or strong enough. You'll never make it." But here's the truth. That voice is not your identity. Self-doubt is just a reflection of your past fears, not your future potential. Think about a train again. When it's carrying a heavy load, it doesn't stop moving. It might slow down, it might struggle up the hill, but it keeps going. That's how you overcome self-doubt. By taking one step forward at a time, even when you don't feel confident. Affirm yourself daily. I am capable. I am worthy of success. I have everything I need to stay on track. Personal reflection. Now, let's pause for a moment and make this personal. I want you to ask yourself, what's pulling you off track right now? Is it the opinions of others? Is it the temptation to compare yourself to someone else? Is it an addiction to comfort, to staying in your safe zone instead of stepping into your purpose? Take a moment to reflect. Write it down if you need to. Identify your challenges because you can't overcome what you refuse to acknowledge. Encouragement. Get back on track. Now, let me speak directly to you. Even if you've been derailed, even if you feel unworthy, it's never too late to get back on track. Your story is not over. Your race is not finished. Think about this. Trains sometimes go off track. It happens. But when it does, Does the train company throw it away and say, well, that's it. It's useless now? No. They work to put it back on the rails because they know the value of that train. You are that train. And no matter how far off track you've gone, you are still valuable. You can still get back on track. Illustration. A story of overcoming challenges. Let me share a story with you. There was a man named Thomas Edison. You probably know him as the inventor of the light bulb. But what you might not know is that he failed over 1,000 times before he succeeded. Think about that. Over 1,000 failed attempts. Most people would have given up after the first few failures, but Edison stayed on track. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of someone who refuses to be derailed. He didn't see failure as the end. He saw it as a stepping stone. So what about you? What's your response to the challenges in your life? Are you going to let distractions, discouragement, fear, or self-doubt derail you? Or are you going to rise above them, refocus, and stay on track? Remember, the road to your destiny is not always smooth, but it is always worth it. Don't let temporary setbacks rob you of eternal success. Stay on track, because what's ahead of you is far greater than what's behind. And don't just stay on track for yourself. Stay on track because your life is connected to others. Your perseverance will inspire someone else to keep going. The question is, are you ready to rise above the challenges and stay on track? The power of perspective. Let me tell you something. Staying on track is a mental game long before it's a physical one. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you think. Your perspective shapes your reality. It determines whether you see challenges as obstacles or opportunities, whether you view setbacks as failures or stepping stones. Perspective is powerful because it allows you to redefine your journey. It helps you focus on the destination, even when the road gets rough. Staying on track begins and ends with your mindset. 1. Resilience. The mindset of a finisher. Resilience is the ability to keep moving forward, even when everything around you screams, "Stop." It's the inner strength that allows you to weather storms, climb mountains, and push through when the finish line feels miles away. Think about a train climbing uphill. The train doesn't stop because the climb is steep. It doesn't give up because the load is heavy. It keeps moving because it trusts the track beneath it and knows the destination is worth the effort. The same principle applies to you. Resilience doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It means you'll face them and refuse to quit. It means you'll trust the process, even when progress feels slow. 2. Gratitude. A shift in focus. One of the greatest tools for staying on track is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what you don't have to what you do have. It reminds you to celebrate progress, no matter how small. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a long train journey, and the scenery outside your window is breathtaking. But instead of enjoying the view, you spend the entire trip complaining about how long it's taking to get there. You miss the beauty of the journey because you're so focused on the destination. Gratitude teaches you to appreciate the journey, not just the destination. It helps you find joy in the process and keeps you motivated to stay on track. 3. Focusing on the why. When the road gets tough, the key to staying on track is to remember why you started. Your why is your purpose, your driving force, the reason you're willing to put in the work and make sacrifices. Let me ask you, why did you start this journey? Was it to build a better life for your family? Was it to fulfill a dream that's been burning in your heart for years? Was it to prove to yourself that you're capable of more. Your why is what will keep you going when the climb gets hard. It's what will push you forward when you feel like giving up. Take a moment right now to reflect on your why. Write it down. Keep it in front of you. Let it remind you that the journey is worth it, even when it's not easy. 4. Redefining progress. Sometimes, staying on track requires redefining what progress looks like. Progress isn't always big leaps forward. Sometimes it's small steps. Sometimes it's just staying in the game when you feel like quitting. Think about the train again. Even when it's moving slowly, it's still moving. It doesn't matter how fast or slow it's going. It's staying on track, and that's what counts. Let me share a story with you. There was a man training for a marathon. He started strong, but halfway through, he injured his leg. He could have quit, but instead, he chose to walk the rest of the way. It wasn't the race he planned to run, but he finished. Sometimes, progress looks different than you expected, but as long as you're moving forward, you're still on track. 5. The perspective of trust. Perspective is also about trust. Trusting the process, trusting the path, and trusting the one who created it. You might not always see the full picture, but that doesn't mean the track isn't leading you to your destination. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." When you trust the process, you can let go of the need to control everything. You can focus on taking the next step, knowing that the path is leading you exactly where you need to go. Engagement. Reflective questions. Now, let me ask you a few questions. Are you willing to change your perspective? Are you willing to see challenges as opportunities to grow? Are you willing to find gratitude in the process, even when it's hard? Are you willing to remember your why and let it guide you? Take a moment to think about your answers. Write them down if you need to. These questions are not just for reflection. They're for action. Perspective is everything. It's the lens through which you see the world, and it has the power to transform your journey. When you choose resilience, gratitude, and trust, you equip yourself to stay on track no matter what challenges come your way. Remember, staying on track is not just about where you're going, it's about how you see the journey. So shift your mindset, focus on the why, trust the process, and keep moving forward, one step at a time. The question is, are you ready to change your perspective and stay on track? Strategies to stay on track. Staying on track isn't just a matter of willpower. It's a matter of strategy. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of intentional actions, daily habits, and a clear plan. If you don't prepare yourself with strategies, distractions will pull you off course. So let's break it down into practical steps that you can start implementing today. 1. Prioritize your goals. Focus on what matters most. If everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do everything at once, which leads to burnout and frustration. Ask yourself these questions. What truly matters to me? What will bring me closer to my purpose? What are the non-negotiables in my life? Write your goals down, but don't stop there. Rank them in order of importance. Focus on the top 1 or 2 goals at a time. When you concentrate your energy, you'll achieve results faster and more effectively. Example: imagine a train pulling multiple heavy cars. If it tries to haul too many at once, it will slow down or stop. But if it focuses on pulling 1 or 2, it can build momentum and eventually handle more. 2. Break big tasks into smaller, actionable steps. Big goals can feel overwhelming. That's why it's crucial to break them into smaller, actionable steps. Each small step builds confidence and brings you closer to the larger goal. How to do it. Identify the end goal. Divide it into milestones. Create daily or weekly tasks to achieve each milestone. Example: if your goal is to run a marathon, don't focus on the 26 miles. Focus on running a mile today, then 2 miles tomorrow. Progress is about consistency, not perfection. 3. Find accountability partners. We were not created to do life alone. Surrounding yourself with the right people can make all the difference. Accountability partners can encourage you, challenge you, and keep you focused when you're tempted to stray off track. Choose partners wisely. Look for people who share your values. Find those who will be honest with you, even when it's uncomfortable. Seek individuals who inspire you to grow. Illustration: imagine 2 trains running parallel on different tracks. When one train slows down, the other one's momentum can remind it to keep moving. That's what accountability does. It keeps you aligned and moving forward. 4. Establish daily habits. Build your track, plank by plank. Victory isn't won in a single day. It comes from the daily grind, the small, consistent actions that compound over time. Your track isn't built in one big project. It's built one plank at a time. Key daily habits. Journaling. Write down your goals, challenges, and victories. Reflecting daily keeps you focused. Prayer and meditation. Connect with God or your inner self. Seek guidance, clarity, and peace. Gratitude. Practice. Write 3 things you're thankful for each day. Gratitude shifts your perspective and energizes your spirit. Your daily habits are the nails that secure your track. Miss a few, and you'll feel unstable. But build daily, and you'll create a path that can carry you anywhere. 5. Faith and focus. Fuel for the journey. Faith is your fuel. It's what keeps you going when the track disappears into the horizon and you're not sure what lies ahead. Faith reminds you that even when you can't see the destination, you're still on the right path. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Faith isn't passive, it's active. It requires you to take the next step, even when you don't have all the answers. Focus helps you eliminate distractions and keep your eyes fixed on your goal. Practical tip. Start your day with a moment of prayer or affirmation. Speak life over your journey. Declare, I am staying on track. I am moving forward. My destination is worth the effort. 6. Create an action plan. Start today. Knowing what to do is one thing. Doing it is another. That's why you need an action plan. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for all the pieces to fall into place. Take one step today. Steps to create your plan. Write down your top goal. List 3 small actions you can take today to move toward it. Identify one person to share your goal with for accountability. Example: if your goal is to start a business, research for 30 minutes today. Write down your business idea. Call a mentor or friend to share your plan. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just take the next step. Action creates momentum, and momentum keeps you on track. Now, let me challenge you. What's one thing you can do today to stay on track? Don't overthink it. Don't wait until tomorrow. Write it down and commit to doing it before the day ends. Staying on track isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about taking consistent, intentional actions every day. It's about trusting the process, focusing on the goal, and surrounding yourself with the right people. Remember, the track you're building today is the path to your destination tomorrow. Stay on it, keep moving, and don't stop until you reach the finish line. What track are you building today? Will it carry you to your purpose, or will it leave you stuck in the station? The choice is yours. Let's make it count. Overcoming setbacks. Let's be honest, setbacks happen. Life doesn't always go as planned. The train gets derailed, storms roll in, and sometimes the track ahead seems broken. But let me tell you something profound. Derailments are not the end of the journey. They're part of it. Failure doesn't define you. Your response to failure does. What separates those who stay stuck from those who succeed is how quickly they decide to get back on track. 1. Normalize failure. Embrace the detour. Here's the truth. Everyone fails. The world's most successful people have stories of setbacks that could have stopped them in their tracks. But instead of giving up, they used their failures as fuel to keep going. Examples of notable failures. Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about it, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Oprah Winfrey, fired from her first job as a news anchor because she was unfit for TV. Today, she's one of the most influential figures in media. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. He later said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." These examples remind us that failure isn't final. It's just a chapter, not the whole story. 2. Shift your perspective. See setbacks as setups. Setbacks aren't stop signs. They're opportunities to learn, grow, and adjust. Sometimes, the derailment forces you to look at the bigger picture and realign with your purpose. God uses your detours to develop you. The setback is a setup for a greater comeback. What feels like rejection today could be redirection toward your destiny tomorrow. 3. Let go of the past. Stop carrying dead weight. Every second you spend dwelling on your failures is a second stolen from your future. You can't move forward if you're constantly looking back. Imagine a train trying to move while dragging old, broken cars behind it. It's impossible. Encouragement. Let go of the guilt, the shame, and the what-ifs. The weight of your past isn't meant to define your future. Release it and move forward with purpose. Reflection. Question. What are you holding on to that's keeping you stuck? Is it a bad decision, a failed relationship, or an opportunity you missed? Whatever it is, decide today to let it go. 4. Plan your comeback. Take action after a setback. Getting back on track starts with a decision. No matter how far off course you've gone, it's never too late to realign. Steps to plan your comeback. Acknowledge the setback. Be honest about what happened, but don't dwell on it. Learn from it. Identify what went wrong and what you can do differently. Take the first step. Focus on small, immediate actions that will move you forward. Example. If you lost a job, your first step might be updating your resume or reaching out to your network. If you've struggled with consistency in a goal, start fresh with a smaller, more manageable plan. 5. Encouragement. You're stronger than you think. Setbacks test your resilience, but they also reveal your strength. Every time you get back up, you prove to yourself and the world that you're unshakable. Success is not measured by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise. Take a moment to reflect on your life. What's one setback that's been holding you back? Write it down. Then write one action you can take today to start your comeback. Remember, your setback isn't your story. It's a chapter. The train may have derailed, but the track ahead is still there. You just need to get back on it and keep moving. Your future is waiting, and the destination is worth the journey. Don't stop now. Would you like to expand with more personal stories or examples? Let's take a moment to revisit the core of today's message. Staying on track isn't about having a perfect journey. It's about staying the course through every twist, turn, and challenge. We've explored the foundation of staying on track, having a vision, cultivating discipline, and building focus. We talked about the challenges you'll face, distractions, discouragement, and fear. But we also uncovered the strength to overcome them. We discussed the power of perspective and how seeing setbacks as setups can change your outlook. And finally, we explored the strategies to help you stay on track. Practical, actionable steps you can take every day to keep moving forward. Here's the truth. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. When you feel like giving up, remember why you started. When the road gets rough, remember that every step you take is a step closer to your destiny. Let me remind you of something powerful. There is a finish line ahead of you. It may not be visible right now, but it's there, waiting for you to reach it. Every small step, every act of perseverance, every moment of faith brings you closer. Picture this. Imagine standing at the starting line of a marathon. You're surrounded by others, and the road stretches out before you. At first, the path is smooth and you feel strong. But as you keep going, the road gets steeper, your legs get heavier, and the crowd thins out. It's in these moments that the question arises, will you keep going or will you stop? This is where your destiny is determined, not in the easy stretches, but in the hard ones. Encouragement. There's a champion inside you. There's a resilience you haven't even tapped into yet. Your destiny isn't defined by how quickly you finish. It's defined by the fact that you finish. Let me say this as clearly as I can. Stay on track when it's hard. Stay on track when you're tired. Stay on track when you feel alone. Stay on track because your destiny is worth it. The road may be long, and the journey may test every fiber of your being, but greatness isn't built on shortcuts. It's built on consistency, focus, and faith. Declaration. I declare that today you will rise above the noise, the doubt, and the fear. Today, you will plant your feet firmly on the track and decide to move forward one step at a time. Now it's your turn. You've listened to the message and you've felt the call in your spirit. But here's the thing. Knowledge without action is powerless. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to stay on track? What distraction or fear do I need to let go of? Who can I turn to for accountability and support? Don't wait for tomorrow to make a change. Today is the day to refocus, realign, and move forward. Practical action. Steps. Write down your goal. Identify one small step you can take right now. Commit to doing that step before the day ends. Let me leave you with this powerful verse from the Bible. Hebrews 12:1. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Remember, your race is unique to you. No one else can run it for you, and no one else can define your finish line. Final words. Run your race with courage. Stay the course with focus. And trust that every step you take is bringing you closer to your destiny. Thank you for letting me speak into your life today. Now go out there and show the world what it means to stay on track. Your future is waiting. Stay the course. Stay on track. Finish strong.